one appetizer and two entrees like the new chicken parmesan fettuccine.
Hey, hey, hey. Good afternoon. This is still the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. Hey, hey, hey. I don't know who's going to watch this. I don't even know if anybody's going to come on the live to say good afternoon. However, whoever watched this, please, 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 please subscribe to this channel, like this video, and just drop down and say, hey, what's up, what's up, what's up, what's up, what's up. You know, today is Monday, and this is normally my do nothing day. And I have been doing absolutely that all day, doing nothing. I have not even opened my blinds yet. You know, my bed is not made up or anything. The weather looks tragic outside. It's just been a dreary, dreary day all day long. So I was sitting here by my desk. I was sitting here at my desk, right? I got a lot of reading that I need to get in tomorrow for our singles ministry. We're doing the what, 90-day life principles and stuff like that. And I haven't, yeah, the 30 life principles, the Bible study. And I have been really lax, and I'm trying to get it together. I'm really trying to get it together. And I just popped on, right? Because I was going through my little book. I have this little tablet that I write all these little quotes down in, all these little feel good sayings. I write them down and stuff. Because here lately it's been very life has been lifing, and a lot of things has been happening in the real world. Last weekend past was a funeral of a really nice guy that I was secretary of Sunday school, and worked with the finance, and he was part of the finance, and he was just he was a really nice guy. And a couple of weeks before that, one of my dear friends, she passed away at a young age of 55. She passed away. And just recently, as of last week, another young lady that I knew would have conversations with. Can't say we were friends or anything like that, but we always had a cordial relationship when we saw each other. We would talk, and and she passed away as well. So life has been life, and in the real world, it just keep turning and just keep going and just keep going and just keep going. So I'm sitting here at my desk, and I saw this quote, and it just I have this little book, as I say, this little tablet that I write in, and I have all these different little quotes and all these little sayings that can really encourage and uplift. So I was thinking, I said to myself, I said, Self, and Self said, Self say, write that down. I said, okay. And then Self say, girl, you ain't been on live in a little minute. Go live and read some of these little quotes and see, who may come on later, replay this, and you may say something that can encourage someone, that will encourage someone. So here goes. This was my last writing, right? It's a reminder. Sometimes we have to remind ourselves of things, and it says, reminder, be aware, but not bothered. And that's what caught my attention. It said, be aware, but not bothered. You can be aware of people saying things. You can be aware of people doing things, but you don't have to let it bother you, because it has nothing, absolutely nothing to do with you. It says more about that person than it says about you. Because sometimes people could be beefing with you, have a problem with you, have an issue with you, and you don't know anything about it. So, reminder, be aware, but don't be bothered. Don't be bothered, but not be aware, but don't be bothered. Learn, sit back and observe. Sometimes the best thing that you can do is just sit back, assess the situation, and just don't do nothing. Like in Psalms 27, it tells you to wait, be of good courage, and wait. You know, when it says wait and it emphasizes that thing again about waiting, that means just be still. Observe your surroundings. Observe the people that you hang around with. Observe the people that wants to be a part of your life. Observe everything. Just sit back and sometime, most of the time, you don't have to say not one word. Just sit back and observe. You'll learn everything by just sitting back and watching and waiting because people will let you know who they are and what they are all about. And never, never, ever, 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 never let anyone get you out of character. I don't care how much you want to, how bad you want to say something. I don't care how it's just right there on the tip of your tongue. I don't care how it's on, how, I don't care if you're on the edge of your seat. I don't care. I don't care how bad it even hurt your feelings. And I can say this because I have walked through that before. I have been through that before. You know, people saying things and you want to react to everything. You cannot react to everything. You cannot allow people to get you out of your character because that's what they want to do. They want to see you, they want to see you falter. They want to see you wilt. They want to see you give up. They want to see you with an old woe is me attitude. They want to see you with the attitude, period. They want to see you in a bad light. They want to see you and say, I told you she wasn't what she said she was. I told you. I told you she wasn't nothing but a holy roller. Don't ever, regardless of what it is, and I can even say how bad it hurts sometimes, and you want to say it, and then you want to throat punch somebody. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't let no one get you out of character. Sometimes you just have to suck some things in, suck it in, suck it up, suck it up, and don't ever let anyone get you out of character. And because you know why? I'm giving this reminder to be aware, but not be bothered. Learn, sit back and observe, and never let anyone get you out of character. You know why? Because not everything in life deserve a reaction. And sometimes people do things just for you to react. Don't give them that satisfaction. Sometimes a while back, I used to have to bite it. I had to suck it up. I had to suck it up. And I would get home sometime and I would go in the bathroom and turn the shower on and get in the shower and cry. I would wait till the late night when I know everybody, when I was living with my mom and my daughter and my granddaughter was living there, I would wait till late in the midnight hour when I knew everybody was asleep. And I would cry. I would cry in my pillow. I would put the pillow over my face so nobody could hear me crying because I never want to give anybody the satisfaction of seeing me sweat. I didn't want to give nobody the satisfaction to let them know that they hurt my feelings. And and I used to hear my grandma say, what don't kill you would make you stronger. And it made me stronger. Sometimes in the worst way, But when I began to learn about God and to know what the attributes and the character of God and learn about Jesus and learn about the Holy Spirit, I began to not cry, go in the bathroom and turn the shower on and cry anymore. I learned how not to cry in my pillow anymore. I learned how to start praying. I learned how to start praying for strength to endure, because sometimes words, they say sticks and stones, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words don't hurt. Yes, words do hurt. They do hurt when you allow them to hurt. When you give people when you have a choice to be hurt by something that someone said, or being hurt by something that someone did, you're making a choice to be hurt. You're making a choice to be hurt. And every time, every now and then when I see something, I write it down. And I really like that one where it says reminder. Every now and then you have to remind yourself. You could be aware, but you don't have to be bothered. You can learn how to sit back and learn how to observe things before you jump into something. I had a lady once told me a long time ago, a long time ago. We were at this, I was living in the projects, had my first son, and we used to have these little house parties where we go and play cards, we go and play tonk, and we get high, we get high, we be drinking. We used to be listening to Teddy Pendergraph and Cameo. We used to Earth, Wind, and Fire. Back in the day when you had the little house parties and stuff like that, and we used to be having those little things that I am not a friendly person. I've never been a friendly person. I've always been a good person. I'm not a nice person, but I'm a good person. And I've never been a friendly person, and I don't make friends easy. I really don't make friends easy. And I don't go out of my way to make friends with anyone. However, I did have friends, and I do have friends. So we went to this house. We were at this house party. I don't know the people. I knew the people. Living in the projects. Some people because you have your tribe, you have your village, and then there's other little villages and other little tribes and stuff. So my friend, she knew these people. So we go over to their house, and we were, everybody was in there. Puff puff pass, puff puff pass. This person lighting up. It was all nice, listening to music and drinking and laughing and talking and playing spades or whatever. So I was sitting by the stairs, and I had my back to where I could see everything, right? And so this one lady said, she said, "You so quiet." She said, "You must be a Libra." And I said, "Why would you say that?" She said, "Because you just sit back and you just observing everything. You're not saying anything." Then so I just started talking. She said, "I know about you." She said, all you do, you just sit and you just look. You don't say nothing. You just observe things until you feel comfortable enough to talk." And I said, "Yeah, that's how I am. I like to feel my way. I have to get that vibe. And so that's how people began to know about me, because they say now she don't bother with nobody. She ain't gonna never bother with nobody. But when you come to her, you got to know how to come to her. So it's always good to just sit back and observe your surroundings. Sometimes even the people that you grew up with, even the people that you call friends and stuff like that, you have to kind of sit back and assess the situation and kind of process it a little bit, and then and move it, and that'll tell you that'll tell you how to move and stuff. I don't know who's gonna watch this because people been coming on and going off. I'm not talking about no lawsuits. I ain't talking about, you know, who outselling who on TikTok. And I'm not talking about, I'm gonna be talking about Love and Marriage Huntsville when it come back. So that's what I'm pretty much waiting for. And I haven't been on in a while because I just didn't feel like being on and trying to spend some quality time with myself. I'm trying to get me together and stuff like that and come back stronger and be better. And plus, my granddaughter, she getting ready to, in about in about 4, maybe 5 more weeks, my granddaughter gonna be leaving to go to college and stuff like that, starting her life. My daughter, she decided that she wanna go back to school to get her RN and get her RN license, and everybody doing what they do, and life just been life, but it's okay. It is okay. And then I have been thinking, I've been saying, Lord, God has been showing me like little glimpses of things and stuff like that and trying to get me to a place to say, well, Marita, you have the power. You have the power to lead the people. You have the power to encourage the people. But I want to see myself the way God see me. I don't want to see myself the way other people see me. Because, see, people are falter. People leave you out there in the desert dry with no water. They just they'll leave you in the Antarctic without a coat, without a sweater, without anything. So I want to see myself the way that God see me. I want to see me through the eyes of God. And then all these little quotes that I had been writing down, and I go up every now and then. I go back and I read them like I was doing today, and it would say, "Let every day be a chance. Let every day be a chance to be a better person, a chance to change your behavior." A chance to live life to its fullest, a chance to get out of your own way, a chance to correct mistakes, a chance to forgive and ask for forgiveness. Forgiveness is not for the other person. Forgiveness is for yourself. You're holding on to something. It's like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. That's not going to happen. You drunk the poison. Forgive people and move on. Don't hold on to that. If you don't feel like you could be cordial to that person, forgive that person. Regardless, forgive others, because who am I not to forgive someone when I ask God to forgive me all day, every day, 24/7? We got to learn how to forgive people and let stuff go. Right now I'm in a situation and I made up my mind about this situation. I say, I'm not going backwards and forward with people. I'm letting my nay be nay and my yay be yay. My yes is yes, and my no is no, and that's just what's it gonna be. God give us chances every day, and God tell us we have to forgive people. Forgive us, because we pray, forgive me my trespasses as I forgive those who trespass against me. And then you want to hold on to something. And I decide, you know what? I forgive everybody who has ever did anything to me, everybody who has ever said anything about me. I forgive them. Yesterday in church, right? Pastor had us to go around hugging people and telling them that I love you. And people know, Lord, I'm still working on that I love you part. And I'm still working on that part where um I'm hugging people because I'm one of those people that I don't like being touched, and I don't want to tell somebody something that I don't feel that it's not real. And so I was standing there, and so I'm walking out the choir, out the section where we deem the choir stand, right? And I was saying, now, Pastor, no, I don't like this. He know I don't like this part. And so some of the choir members were like, come on, you can do it. You can do it, Miss Marita. Come on, Marita, you can do it. And I said, girl, y'all know I'm not good with this. I'm just not good with telling people, I love you, and then hugging them and, and stuff like that. I'm just not good with that. So, this lady come up to me and she said, I love you. And she hugged me. I said, yeah, I love you too. I love you too. And so the pastor always getting on me about, and he told me this last week in Vacation Bible School, because I spoke and I just kept going. Was passing him by. So he said, I'm gonna teach you. I'm gonna teach you just like I got some other people to teach. I said, what? I said, I spoke. He said, but I'm gonna teach you. You don't just pass by me. So he said, I'm gonna teach you you know, how to hug people. I know how to hug people. I just don't like touching people, and I just don't like people touching me. So, he's give me a hug. So I said, And they said, give me a hug. So I gave the pastor a hug. And it's just hard for me, to be touched by people. I have to initiate it. I don't like people coming up to me, touching me and stuff like that. If I don't initiate it, then, people, I just don't, and people understand. Some people understand that, but when they want to try me, they want to try to they try to get me out of character and stuff like that. Then I say, okay, God, okay, okay, all right. So that's what I did. Yes, there was some that I did go around and hug. And this one lady, she said, I really do love you. She said, sometimes I just want to hit you in the top of your head sometimes. Just, and I said, I know. I said, sometimes I want to hit my own self in the top of the head, but I get it. I get it. So, a chance to forgive and ask for forgiveness. Forgive somebody. And if you know that you've done something to someone, go to them and ask them for forgiveness. Don't say, I'm sorry. Don't say I apologize. Ask them to forgive you for your behavior. Ask them to forgive. Just, let every day be a chance to ask for forgiveness and to forgive someone. And let every day be a chance to love and be loved. Allow people to love you and love on people, because I'm gonna tell you that's the greatest feeling in the world, to be truly loved by someone and to love someone. That is one of the greatest feelings in the world. And let every day be a chance to don't miss the chance you receive from God as He woke you up today. Don't miss the chance you receive from God as He woke you up today. It was no accident that God woke everybody up who's alive, who woke up this morning. That wasn't an accident. That wasn't by chance. That was a gift. God woke us up on purpose, for a purpose, a purpose to forgive someone, a purpose to go and ask someone for forgiveness, a chance to live life to the fullest. Because we, in the word, it tells us we know not the day, we don't know the time, we don't know the day, we don't know the hour when our time is up. Is this in the from back to back to back, seeing people that I know, seeing people that I'm close to, and hearing about a situation that's going on in my family right now, where God has given someone, where the doctor has given someone a time limit. You got X amount of time, and 6 months. You got 6 months, and when I find out about it, it's less than 6 months to live. So let every day just be a chance to live your life to the fullest, and live your life with no regrets, and live your life like live your life like it's golden. Live life like it's precious, because life is just a vapor. Life is just like a vapor. It's here and then it's gone. So let every day be a chance to love, to be loved, to forgive, and ask for forgiveness. And just because you just never, ever, ever, ever know. And then do self inventory. Note to self. Every now and then I like to write little notes to myself. I like to write I like to write love letters to myself. I like to write sometimes I write and I get on my own self about my attitude, or the way that I'm treating people, how I don't want to be around people. Sometimes I do that. I write notes to myself. And I read this thing and it said, note to self: forget those who forget you. You're always calling someone, you're always texting someone, and you're always the first to do everything. Forget about those people who forget about you. Because if they're important, if you feel like they are so important, they're showing you that you're not important to them at all. You're not important to them. I don't care how busy someone is. I just don't care. If you cannot pick up the phone and call and say, girl, I was just thinking about you today. How are you doing? And if you can't text someone, say, hey, how you doing? I was just thinking about you. Just want to make sure everything is okay. Every now and then, if you can't do that, and you're constantly doing it and you're not receiving what it is that you're putting out, let it go. Forget those who forget you. Let it in. And my thing, this is a big one for me. Let it in, let it hurt, let it heal, and let it go. That's my thing. I don't deny my feelings. And when I see something that has ran its course, relationships, whatever it is, if it's done ran relationships, friendships, whatever it is, a friendship is a relationship, a love interest. I'm loving you, but you're not loving me back. You're hurting me. You're lying to me. You know, let it in. Let it hurt. Hurt, get over it. Let it go. Let it heal. And then let it go. Let it go, never to repeat it over again, because you're going to get the same result. And I can tell you this because that's something that I have went through, and it's sort of something like I'm kind of going through it a little bit, and I'm giving my every time I think about moving forward with this, I said, you know what? If you keep trying, the door is closed, the door is sealed, never to be open again. And if that door is open, it's not going to be the way that you want it to be, simply because it's not ordained by God. Because you anything that's ordained by God, you don't have to work hard to make it work. Anything that's ordained by God, you do not have to make it. It's not hard to make it work. You don't have to make it hard. It's nothing hard about it. It shouldn't be anything. It won't be anything hard about it. Don't force your importance into someone else's life because you feel like you are important. Other people don't see you that way. Other people don't see you that way. So don't try to force it. If it don't fit, just like Johnny Cochran said, if it don't fit, you must have quit. That means you got to let it go. Don't force nothing. Let it happen organically. Let it happen naturally. So what you so self-absorbed and what you deem important, other people don't see it that way. Other people don't see it that way. So that's just a little note to self. Don't force it. Don't force your importance into someone else's life. And then if they return, remember how they left. And that's just what I would just say. You've been in a situation with a friendship or a relationship, and they left, turned their back on you, and now they want to return. You must remember that pain you felt when they left. You got to remember why they left and how they left. And that'll make you decide, no, I don't want to go back into that. That wasn't a good feeling. I didn't feel too good after that. So if they return, remember how they left. Remember how they left. And another thing, people lie, but actions don't. You could tell me all day, every day, 24/7. I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you, sis. Girl, you know I love you. I love you, babe. Love is an action word. And if you don't show me and all you do is just telling me, it don't mean a thing. It means absolutely nothing. So people lie, but actions don't. Everything happens for a reason. So when stuff be coming at you and you don't understand it, just stay calm. Stay calm. Everything happens for a reason. And when God is getting ready to teach you a lesson or show you something, stay calm. Stay calm, because God will give you a discerning spirit about something, and it's up to you to get it. And if you don't get it, you are going to repeat it. You are going to repeat it until you get it. And sometimes going through the process is very painful. But when you have growing pain, when you are growing and God is getting ready to elevate you to a different level, to a higher level, that means you're going to have to shake some things loose. That means some things are going to drop. That means you're going to stretch. So everything happens for a reason. And when you see things start happening, don't get all bent out of shape. Don't get all discombobulated. Just sit back. Just sit back and observe and stay calm. And stay calm. Peace is always better than revenge. Because when you're seeking, when someone has done something to you and it hurted you to your core, when someone been out there lying about you and it hurt you to your core, you want to get revenge on that person. I'm gonna tell you, in the word, in God's word, He says, "Vengeance is mine. I'll take care of that. I take care of that." And I could tell everything I'm saying, I can say it because I don't went through it. And I can tell you about peace. Once you get to a place of peacefulness, once you get to a place of peacefulness and you are at peace and you have that peace that surpasses all understanding, you don't even understand why. London Bridge is falling. London Bridge is falling. And you still sitting there sipping on your tea. You sipping on your cognac. You sipping on your Tito and raspberry lemonade. You just sitting there just as peaceful, because you know what? That ain't got nothing to do with me. That ain't got nothing to do with me. What they say about you, the plots and the schemes, the ditches that they're digging for you, that ain't got nothing to do with you. That ain't got nothing to do with you. You still remain in a place of tranquility. You are tranquil and you are peaceful, because because you get revenge on somebody else, they got to come back with their revenge on you. And it's a never ending cycle. I can tell you the best thing for revenge is to get on your knees if you can. And if you can't get on your knees, you sit in your chair, you sit on the side of your bed, and if you just want to get on your knees, put some pillows on the floor and get on your knees, and you pray a prayer of conviction. Pray a prayer. Don't pray asking God to let this happen to the person. Just pray and say, Lord, let your will be done. And before you get up off your knees, God had already answered that prayer. So peace is always better than revenge. Always, always. And another thing, always agree with God, move with God, end with God, never doubt God, because God is not like man. He will not, he shall not, and he can't lie. God can't and he won't lie. And let your faith be bigger than your fear. Let your faith be better, be bigger and better than your fear. And always have self-control. You know why? Self-control is strength, right? Through self-control is strength. Right thoughts, have right thoughts. That's mastery. And calmness, that's power. Power. Calmness is power. You be put into situations, and things happen. The more you stay calm, you can control the situation. And the more you can control yourself, that's strength right there. And when you have the right mindset and you're not thinking negative thoughts and you master your thoughts and you stay calm, that's power right there. That get people all confused because they expecting you to get all out of character and act stupid. But long as you stay in character, be true to who you are and be who God say that you are, that's showing self-control. And when you have that, that's showing strength. And when you have the right thoughts, you mastering it. You mastering your thoughts. Because sometimes our thoughts would take us to places that we don't want to go. And if you follow behind those thoughts, sometime it'll end in destruction. So once again, self-control is strength. Right thoughts is mastery. And calmness, that's power. And um, I think I heard T.I. say this. No, it wasn't this one. It was another one that I'm going to get back with. But this one right here, what I'm getting ready to say now, a lion will never eat grass, no matter how hungry he is. Be like a lion. Never lower your standards because someone expects that from you. Never lower your standards to appease someone else. Be like that lion. I don't care how hungry I get. It's just some things I ain't gonna do. And a lion don't eat grass. A lion is a carnivore. They like meat. They love meat. So a lion would never eat grass, no matter how hungry he is. And be like that lion. Never lower your standards to please other people because they expect that from you. The things that you used to do, stop doing it. Stop doing it. Don't lower your standards to please other people because they're not going to come down there to try to please you. So let them come up to where you are and never lower yourself. And don't go above and beyond for people anymore. Meet them as far as they meet you. If they don't want to walk across the street to meet you or walk in the middle of the street to meet you, let them stay on the other side. Let them stay on the other side. Speak to them as much as they speak to you. Include them as much as they include. If they don't include you in nothing, it ain't no tit for tat. That means you didn't want to be around me. That means you didn't want me to be. You didn't want me to be. You didn't want me to be a part of that. So you didn't include me. So you know what? I got a little tea party going on. I got a little happy hour thing going on. And you know what? You was not even in my thoughts about even being a part of that tea party. It wasn't because you didn't invite me. That means I'm not going above and beyond for people anymore. And I'm gonna meet you just and I heard a young lady at church one Sunday. We had I'm matching energy. I'm matching energy. And so I heard Kim say that she said, I'm not matching energy anymore. I'm meeting energy. And I said that, I said, you know what, Kim, I like that. I ain't trying to match because you acting like a damn fool. I ain't gonna get out there and act like no damn fool. Just cause you mad, I ain't gonna be mad. I'm gonna meet you right where you at, baby. But where you at ain't where I'm is. That don't even sound right. I wear meals. That sounds so country, but it is what it is. Hey, Shirley girl. Hey, Auntie, glad to hear your voice again. I missed you. Shirley, it was just something. I was just sitting here at my desk because it's so gloomy outside. And I was sitting here And every time a commercial come on, right, I would get up and do some movement and, do some kind of exercise and stuff like that until the show come back on. So I was just flipping through my little quote book, my little notebook and stuff like that. And, things that was popping up. And I said, let me talk about this. Let me talk about this. And I've just been going over some things and stuff like that. Maybe you want to go back and listen at the beginning or something like that. But yeah, I thank you for being here. And I miss you too, girl. I'm trying to get myself slowly um coming back on and stuff like that. A lot of stuff been going on and it's just been life. It's not like life been lifing, but life been going on. Life has been going on. And all I'm doing right now is just trying to encourage, as I always do, trying to encourage somebody, whoever go back and listen to this and whoever pop on and get where I am now. So my thing is, don't go above and beyond for people anymore. Meet them as far as they meet you. Don't always raise your hand and say, I do it, I do it, I do it. Let somebody else raise their hands and say, I do it, I do it. And I had to learn that because I used to volunteer to do things all the time. And then when it was time for it to do it, my daughter told, and I said, oh, I sure don't feel like doing this. I just don't want to do it. And my daughter was high school. She said, Mom, you're going to get enough doing. I always want to volunteer and be captain, save somebody. You're gonna get enough of that. And then when it's time to do it, you really don't want to do it. And I thought about that. I took that to heart. And now I just sit down on my hands and don't hold my head down and I be looking, because Miss Aretha, nope. I ain't gonna be the one. I ain't gonna be able to do that one. And I don't owe nobody no explanation as to why. I don't owe nobody no explanation as to why. And you know what? And this other one, it says, there is no peace without discipline. Your peace is everything. And that is not no lie. I tell them in Sunday school, I tell her I was shouted from the rooftop, from the Statue of Liberty, from the Empire State Building, from the tallest bridge, the Chesapeake Bay Bridge, the San Francisco Bridge, the Brooklyn Bridge, the Cape Cod Parkway Bridge, the Midpoint Bridge. I was shouted from any bridge. I was shouted from any bridge. There is no peace without discipline. And your peace is everything. Because if you do not have peace, then you got chaos. You're a chaotic person. You're a destructive person. You're a discombobulated person. You are a worrisome person. You're a tiresome person. You are not a structured person. I fight for my peace. I defend my peace. I don't try to justify my peace. It is what it is. My yay is yay, my yes is yes, and my no is no. I don't have to explain the yes, and I damn sure don't have to explain the no. I am not going to let a situation, I'm not going to let an issue, I'm not going to let a person, I'm not going to let nothing and nobody to disturb my peace. Where I am now, I can sit in my apartment. God bless me with this apartment. I can sit in my apartment every month. I pay rent in this apartment. This is my sanctuary. This is my place of peace. And I always remember, hey, two Leo boys, mama, hey, girl, hey, girl, hey. Thank you for just being here. I was just talking to myself, girl, until you and Shirley came. But that's all right. Y'all know how I do it. I talk to myself. And that's what I was doing. And I want you to go back and listen to the first part so you can understand what it is. I'm just here to encourage and to uplift. That's what I'm, I just want people to get to that place where you don't worry about what people saying. You don't worry about what people doing. As long as 1 and 1 is 2 and 5 is 10 and 25 and 25 is 50 and God wake you up in the morning because that is a gift and you have the choice of how your day is going to be. Yeah, there's going to be some disruptions. There's going to be some, people going to come in and try to make it all discombobulated and out of order. But you have a choice as to how you respond to people. So there is no peace without discipline, and your peace is everything. It's everything. It is just absolutely everything. And once you taste peace, once you have a taste of peace, like I say, I fight for mine. I fight for my peace. You'll fight for your peace as well. Because being in a peaceful place in your thoughts, in your head, and you at peace regardless of what's going on, because when you're at peace there's a calmness about you, and you can you don't do things half-ass. You don't go out there all willy-nilly. You don't go out there acting crazy. When you're at peace and there's a calmness, you see a situation for what it is and you know how to handle it accordingly. But if you got chaos in your life and there's no structure in your life, you're gonna always be walking like you walking on hot coal. You're gonna be ouch, 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 ouch. It's gonna be always something going on. And I don't like life like that. I don't like life like that. I like to live my life like it's golden. And sometimes I ain't got 10 pennies to rub together to make a whole dime. But however, I thank God for his grace and mercy. He ain't let me go hungry yet. I thank him for that. He ain't never let me go hungry yet. And I thank God that he has given me eyes to see, ears to hear, a heart to understand, and the will to lead me with wisdom, guide me, guide my decisions, protect me from deception. And you know what emotions are? Emotions are energy in motion. Energy in motion. That's what emotions are. It's just energy in motion. It could be negative energy, it could be cool energy, and it could be that energy just got a vibe, just have a vibe going on. And I thank God for it. And I'm gonna tell you something. And I saw this one and I had to think about it. I really had to think about this one. It says, your attendance is your agreement. Your attendance is, yes, there's the blessing in the however. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Your attendance is your agreement. You might not be that type of person that sit around and gossip about other people. You may not be that person that sit and plot all kind of schemes for someone else's downfall. However, if you sit there in that surrounding and you don't say anything about it, it's not like taking up for that person. But if you don't have the character and the will to say, you know what, that's not right. That's not right. That means you are in agreement. Again, you are guilty by association. So your attendance, if you just sit around in that means you're agreeing with your agreement, your attendance is your agreement. And I thought about that thing and I said, wow. I said, and I had to think about it. And I said, well, you know what? I can't argue with that because, hey, you sit around because you don't want, you get up and they sitting around and you sitting in a situation and they talking about one person, even though you haven't said anything. I guarantee you, the moment you get up to go to the bathroom, I just say, I'll see y'all later. You gonna be the topic. You gonna be the next topic. They were just waiting for you to leave because you was gonna be the next topic. And then this one right here this one got me too. It said excuses are permission to disrespect God. I said, oh my God. I said, why you hitting me like this morning, God? Why you doing me like this morning? He said, excuses, when you make excuses, when you procrastinate, when you're trying to justify it. You're just trying to you're just trying to get permission to disrespect God, to do what the hell it is that you want to do. You just want to do what you want to do. You're trying to justify. You're trying to make an excuse. Well, you don't know what they did. You don't know what they said. You don't know. And that, you're just trying to justify your misbehavior. You just try to find permission to disrespect God. I said, okay, God, stop. Okay, you done beat me long enough. You done beat me long enough. So, sis, all I said is keep watering yourself until you feel like you again. And I see women always pouring into other people, just pouring and pouring and pouring. I had a friend yesterday come to church and I love her to death. And I didn't recognize it. And I get to church. Well, I get to church early. Sunday school starts at 9:30, and I'm part of the Prayer Warriors ministry. So we pray from 9, sometimes from 9 o'clock to 9:30. We pray until 9:15 usually, but sometimes it goes over until 9:20, 25, or 9:30. Right at the start of Sunday school. And she came yesterday, and people know I am a stickler about. I'm not the head of the ministry, but everybody look at me like when the ministry leader is not there, they go, "Oh, well, Sister Marita, Sister, he's not here. You just take over." So I said, "Okay, I'm not the leader. I'm not sitting in for the leader. It's just I'm okay. I'm gonna do what it is that y'all say for me to do." So it was just ladies yesterday, so it was just four of us yesterday. And one of the ladies come in, and I know she don't normally look like the way she was looking yesterday. And I'm looking at her, I'm saying, "Are you okay?" And it was me and the lady who gave me a ride to church. We were the only one there, so I don't care if no one is there. It starts at 9 o'clock. If it's just me, if it's just her, we're gonna go in that room and we're gonna close that door and we're gonna start praying. So it's just me and her, and we just start praying. So everybody else start coming in. And so my friend, she came in, and I'm looking at her. I said, "Now she don't normally come to church looking like this." So she was praying and she was crying. And so after each one of us went around praying, I said, "You know what? Before we leave out of here, we're gonna pray for this sister." And we're going to make sure she's okay. We're going to make sure she's okay. And we start praying. We start crying out to God. We start screaming. We start doing everything. We were just praying, praying, praying. So she went to the bathroom and she came back. She said, "Girl, I didn't even know I had my dress on she said, "I didn't even know I had my dress on backwards." That's just how distraught I was about a situation. That's how distraught I was about a situation. I'm not going to go into what her situation is because she trusted me enough not for me to be putting it all out there in the YouTube world, to be putting it out there anywhere. So I take that seriously when someone confides in me. I take that very, 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 very seriously. So after we got through praying, and she went to the when she went outside because another one of the sisters wanted to talk to her, and they went to the bathroom, and she said, "Girl, you got your dress on backwards." She said, "I ain't even know I had my dress on backwards." So right before 11 o'clock service had started. She sat next to me. She came because she sit on one side of the church and I sit on another side of the church. And she said, you know what, sister? She said, we're gonna have to go to lunch. She said, cause I be needing to talk to you so bad sometimes. And I said, you know what, whenever you want to, she said, what you call it? And when it's after church, I say, honey, we could call it brunch. We could call it whatever you want to call it. And she said, yeah, we're gonna have to go have brunch, after church some Sundays. I said, okay, I'm good with that. I am good with that. So you know what? And I made up in my mind, I will not strive, I will not strive, stress, or struggle through this day. I'm walking on faith. I'm not struggling. Every morning, God wake you up. God wakes us up with a purpose. God just don't wake us up just to wake us up. God wakes us up for a purpose. And whatever that person is, you're gonna have to purpose is, you're just gonna have to ask God what that purpose is. God, what you woke me up for this morning? What is that you want me to do? You want me to go on my job? You want me to be nice to somebody? You want me to be helpful to somebody? You want me to encourage somebody? What is it that you want me to do today? God wake us up on purpose for a purpose. So I'm not gonna strive to stress, nor am I gonna stress or struggle through this day. I'm gonna walk on faith. I sit in my apartment some days, and some days I just go sit downstairs just to get that fresh air and stuff like that. And it be people say, "Oh, it's so hot." I said, "But it's cool under, it's cool where I'm sitting. You know, on the floor, first floor, it has an open garage and stuff like that. So that's where I sit. And it's always a cool breeze, and the way that they're building the buildings here now in Florida, they have to be like the garages. There has to be, because where I live, there's a lot of water. And if there's a flood, the water has a place to go through and to drain. So it's like a big open space, and I sit out there sometimes and I have conversations. I talk to anybody. It don't make me no difference. I talk to anybody when they got something that they want to say. I don't use words lightly. And when I don't have anything to say, I don't say anything because I don't mix my words, and I just don't want to talk just to be talking. And your urgency, you know what? And this what I like too. Your urgency is not my emergency, because something is urgent to you. It's not a 911 call for me. And I learned how to stop running, trying to rescue everybody, their urgency. Because when I got an emergency, ain't I can't dial nobody number. I can't SOS nobody for help. I can't do it because ain't nobody gonna come to my rescue. So your urgency is not my emergency. And we're gonna have to learn that. Do what you can, when you can, and for how long you can. And in this one right here, because there's so much, like, every now and then I'll be in the street in YouTube, right? I be in the street on social media. Sometimes I be over there on TikTok, being in them people business over there in TikTok, just in the bushes, as they like to say, hanging from the rafters, swinging in the trees and stuff. And I be over there on TikTok. And then, girl, I done signed up for something called Thread. Be over there on Threads, be on Instagram, be on Facebook, just strolling, just how you used to do back in the day on the whole stroll, just strolling through the avenue and stuff, like, just be strolling, 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 strolling. And then I be hearing about the lawsuits, I be hearing about the noise, about the about Love and Maritime's bill finna come back on. And now I'm all up in Bravo business right now with the Atlanta housewife of Atlanta reunion. I'm all up in them people business and stuff like that, right? I'm just listening. I ain't making no comments and nothing like that. Because you know what? God is not into noise. He is into stillness. And when when it's too much noise going on, I have to back away. I have to back away when there's too much. Like, when things get to be too much for me, I have to step back from the situation. I have to process that thing. I have to assist that situation, and I have to process it for however long I got to process it. And then when I do come back, I'm back. But in the meantime and between time, I'm trying to process these things. And you know what? God is not the author of confusion. You could use God's name and you could quote every scripture from Genesis to Revelation. But if you're not true to who God is, God is not into myth. God is not into noise. God is all about peace, by stillness, and by calm. Because in the midst of chaos, you cannot get no understanding. And in the book of Proverbs, I don't know where it's at, but if you need for me to find it, I'll find it. In the book of Proverbs, it tells you it take a fool to argue with a fool because you can't get no understanding from no fool. And two fools understand each other. I don't understand foolishness. I do not understand foolishness. That's why when I went through all that stuff a couple of years ago about how I felt about Miss Ma'am and how I felt about Anthony and you taking sides, you used to like Miss Ma'am, and now when you start seeing things without those rose color glasses on, and you start seeing things as they are and not the way somebody telling you that they are, then and see, that's where the problem come in. When you start thinking for yourself, I never allowed anyone to think for me. I always thought for myself. I used to get in so much trouble because whatever was on my mind came out my mouth. And my mama said, you can't say everything that come out your mouth. And it's not the way you say it, Marita. It's not what you say. It's the way you say it. And everybody's not going to accept that. And my thing was, if you can't accept it, then don't be around me. Because I'm going to say what I want to say when I want to say it and how I want to say it. And if you don't like it, then you might need to move around. That's the way I have been, and that's the way I have always been that way. And I don't see no need to stop. But now that I've gotten older and a little bit wiser, I've learned how to still say what's on my mind, but I've learned how to say it. I've learned what my grandma used to say, what my great grandma used to say, what my great great grandma say. Baby, you could catch more flies with honey than you can with vinegar. Now I understand that. I understand that. And I understand that God is not into noise. God is not into myth. God is about peace, love, and calmness and understanding. So I learned that you owe everybody love. You don't owe everyone access to you. The way you want to be treated, that's the way you treat everyone. The last commandment, the last in the New Testament, Jesus said, you love your neighbor as you love yourself. So you owe everybody love, but you don't owe everybody access to you. Everybody don't deserve you. Everybody don't need, everybody don't deserve your understanding because there's some people just don't want to understand. And I can't say I love God and not love my neighbor, regardless of what they say. I'm just like yesterday it wasn't hard for me. And Pastor had caught me off guard because he haven't did it in a long time when he said I go around and hugging people and telling them that they love you, that you love them. And he had said something in Sunday school. He said, notice how people speak to you. He said some people when they say good morning, and they'll say good morning differently to other people. And I said, well, I'm gonna say good morning to the people I say good morning to, and the way I say good morning to them. And I like to, some people I say, good morning, beautiful. Hey, hon, good morning, hon. Good morning, buddy. How you doing? Hey, hon. Hey, friend. Good morning, friend. Because I want everybody to feel, I want everybody to feel like they are loved, that they're seen, and that, I speak to them differently. And then it's just some people that I really don't know in the church, and I'm still trying to kind of fill them out. I just say, good morning, how are you this morning? And genuinely mean it. Everybody, you know, speak different. And so and I was sitting next to one of the elders, and I said, well, I'm just going to speak to everybody the way I speak to. And she said, well, you always do. And I said, and I always will. So, that's just everybody. Everybody is owed respect. Everybody is owed love. But you don't have to have, everybody do not have to have access to you. That's why I let my no be no, and I let it be known. I'm not afraid to say no. I'm not afraid to say no. Because if I don't want to do it, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to be pressured into doing. I'm going through a season of uncertainty. Job may lay Job may lay off after 15 years. Thank you for this word. I'm gonna tell you something, Miss Leo. Pray. And yesterday we were read Psalms. We were in Psalms. I think it was Psalms 37, Psalms 34. Um, I will praise the Lord at all times. His praise shall continually be in my mouth. Oh, magnify the Lord with me. Give God some praise. You've been on that job for 15 years. Magnify God. Edify, lift God up. Because in them 15 years, there's been some trials and there's been some tribulation. And I tell you one thing that I know of for sure. When you are following God, when you are following Christ, there's going to be some turmoil. There's going to be some curves. There's going to be some times you want to give up. And sometimes it's going to be that the mountain looks so high. You don't even know how you're going to get over it, across it, or under, or nothing. God asks us God asks us to have big faith. God said, if you have the faith of a mustard seed, if you have the faith of of a mustard seed, and you tell that mountain to move, that mountain can't do nothing but crumble and move. It can't do nothing but crumble and move. Just know, just know this. Just know this, mama. God will never leave you nor forsake you, because I know you know how to do something. If that job ends, whenever that job ends, I know you got a backup plan. If it ain't nothing but making cupcakes and selling them on the weekend, if it ain't nothing but cooking dinners on the weekend, if it ain't nothing but designing cups, designing t-shirts, whatever it is that you've been thinking about, I can do this, I can do this, I can do this. In Philippians 4, it says, and I have this in my kitchen, I can do all things through Christ Jesus that strengthens me. And whatever it is, don't be dismayed and be not afraid, because God did not give us a spirit of fear. Sometime it'll come, and I tell them all the time, when things come to us unexpectedly, and even when we know that it's coming, our first instinct is to say, oh Lord, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? Oh Lord, oh Lord. We go into that, oh Lord, woe is me moment. We go into that moment. But however, remember, God said, I will never leave you nor forsake you. Even though you walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I'm right there with you. Even though you're in the deepest of the valleys, I'm right there with you. If you walk through the pit of hell, I'm walking right along beside you. I am walking right beside you. So to Leo mom, don't fret about it and don't even worry about it. Because God has a purpose and God has a plan. In Jeremiah 29, he said, I know the thoughts, I know the plans that I have for you. So as long as you don't try to get in front of God and let God do what God gonna do, you gonna be all right. You gonna be all right. You gonna be better than that. You gonna be fine. You gonna probably be better. You could probably going to be better when you let God do what God do and let God be to you what God says He is. God is the author and the finisher. He is the Alpha and the Omega and everything in between. God is. God is whatever you want God to be. He's your Jehovah Jireh, your provider. He's your peace in the midst of. So let not your heart be troubled and fret not yourself about what's to come. What's to come. We could put a plan, we could have an idea, we could put a plan, but if you have a plan, put that plan before God. Put that plan before God. Put it before God and let God multiply it. Pray on it. Meditate on it. Take 2 or 3 days and fast about it. And whatever you come up with, whatever God plant, whatever seed God plant in you, that's what you nurture. That's what you worship. That's what you nurture. And this right here, the WIN is coming. Don't worry about when it's coming. Just know the wind is coming. Don't worry about when it's coming. Just know it's coming. The wind is coming. Don't let the wind worry you. Don't worry about when it's coming. Just know it's coming. Just know it's coming. If that job in the day or tomorrow, you still gonna be a winner. Don't worry about when it's coming. Just know it's coming. Just know that it's coming. Plant that seed. You done put in the work. So let God do the watering and the increase. You pray through the pressure. Now trust the process. The wind is already written. It's just unfolding in divine time. Don't let the wind make you forget the why. Don't let the wind make you forget the why. So they may be talking about the job coming to an end over here. There's going to be some layoffs here. God might be opening another door for you to walk through. We never know the doors that God, He said, I prepare a place for you. So don't know what doors are being opened for you right now. You got to move like God got you. You got to move like sometimes it don't feel like it. Sometimes it don't feel like it. Sometimes it don't feel like God hear you. Sometimes it don't feel like God see it. But you got to know. And you got to move like God got me. God got me through this. God got me through this. Because when heaven back you, nothing can block you. Walk like the promise is already yours. Give God some thanks right now. Give God a hallelujah shout of praise right now. Because God, I don't see it. I don't see it. But I know you will never leave me. Because you said God is not a man that he can lie. He got promises all through the Bible. So he can't back out of none of them promises. Because if he did, that'll make him a liar. And I don't serve no lying God. So you gotta move like God. You gotta still walk with your head up. You gotta still keep on moving. Because if you stop moving and get inside your own head, I'm telling you, they say a mind is a terrible thing to waste. A mind is a terrible thing to have sometimes when you ain't having nothing but negative thoughts. A mind is a terrible thing to have sometimes when you ain't got nothing but negative thoughts. So keep your head up and look towards the hills from which forth all your help is coming. So I'm just going to tell you this here: shoulders back, head up, no begging, no fear, and no shrinking. Because when heaven backs you, nothing can block you. And walk like God has already given you what you asked for. So that's my word to you, Miss Leo. Two Leo boys, mama. That's and anger. I'm gonna tell you something. I'm learning how not to get angry at a person, because when you get angry at a person, that means you lost control, and that means that person who you're angry with have control over you. And when I read this, it said anger is an emotion. Anger is an emotional punishment you give yourself for someone else's behavior, because somebody done talked about you like a dirty dog. They done got all emotional. Their behavior is all out of whack. And that's not your business. You can't stop somebody from talking about you, but you can keep your emotions. And it's hard. It's hard. It's no. It's not hard, but it ain't easy to keep your emotions intact. But remember, anger is an emotional punishment you give yourself. You get angry and discombobulated. Because I know when I used to get angry, I get all nervous. I get red in the face because I have this undertone. When I get angry about something, my face get beat red. Look like them cartoons be like with the steam coming out your ears and stuff like that. I be all red and I get nervous. And then I can't hardly talk and stuff like that. Now I'm punishing myself because of the way somebody else feels. So anger is an emotional punishment you give yourself for somebody else's behavior. Let them behave the way they want to. Let them talk. If they calling you this and they calling you that. And I remember Reverend Stevens had said something one time before. Reverend Stevens said about these two women was arguing in church, and one lady called another lady a hoe, and they wanted to fight in church. And Reverend Stevens said, "No, you're not finna fight in church now." He said, "Let me ask you a question." He said, "Is you a hoe?" She said, "No, I'm not no hoe." Then he said, "Well, what you getting mad about? What you want to fight about? If you ain't no hoe, why you acting like somebody act like what a hoe would act like? Stop acting like that. You in church." And I guess the lady had to stop and think about that. I don't answer every call. I do not answer every call. Because every call ain't for me. It could be to me, but it don't be for me. See, I can't get all discombobulated about the way somebody else feel. I make you angry because I ain't get angry. See, unbothered people don't be bothered by bothered people. I always felt like that. When somebody said, I'm so unbothered, you ain't got to tell people about you not bothered, because unbothered people do not get bothered by bothered people. You don't have to go down and announce that you unbothered. You just continue to do what you do, and then see she's so unbothered. She is so unbothered. I was working at Publix and in the deli, and somebody had done dropped all the pans and stuff like that. And normally people would jump and what was that? I just kept on making the man sandwich. The man said, "You didn't even jump." I say, "Why?" That ain't got nothing to do with me what's going back there. I'm making your sandwich. I ain't got nothing to do with that. I ain't got nothing to do. He said, "You must be got nerves and still." I said, Once again, what's happening back there ain't got nothing to do with me. I'm fixing your sandwich. I'm taking care of you right now. Now, when I leave from taking care of you, I'm gonna go back there and be nosy and see what happened. See, when you're not unbothered by bothered people be bothered because you're not bothered. It's just that simple. It's just that simple. And you got to learn how to respect yourself. That's what I be saying self. And sometimes self will say, "Girl." I be saying. Self say, "Now you know. You know." And I be saying, Self be saying. You gonna let that bother you? Self say, "You be hearing that?" I said, yes, Steph, I hear that. I said, Steph, but you know, I ain't got nothing to do with that. They not talking to me. They talking about me. They talking about me. I respect myself enough to don't let what people say affect me. And not let them see if it do affect me, never to let them see it. Because I done been through a lot of things in life. I'm still experiencing a lot of things in life. But however, I've learned how to when life is lifing, I learned how to life back. I've learned how to life back. So I'm learning how to respect myself. And it say respect yourself. Stop looking for who's not looking for you. If they ain't looking for you, if they ain't checking for you, stop. Let it go. Leave it alone. Stop begging others to recognize your goodness. Stop begging and looking for validation from other people. Learn how to validate and uplift and edify yourself. Learn how to encourage yourself. Learn how to be your loudest, your most vocalist cheerleader. Learn how to do that for yourself because people will let the more you look for it from other people and they're continually lifting you up, people will let you down. People will let you down. And stop saying more than necessary. You ain't got to tell people all about yourself. I put out in the YouTube world that I smoke crack. I shot dope. I smoke weed. I pop pills. I put that out there so nobody can hurt my feelings about that. I put that out there because it's somebody going through something like that right now. Somebody got a husband going through it. Somebody got an uncle going through it. An auntie, a child. Their mama might be going through something. But you know, there's life after drugs. If you so choose, there's life after that. There's life after that. And when people disrespect you, confront that immediately. Don't let that fester. Uh-uh. Uh-uh. Don't let it fester. But I'm gonna tell you, have a calmness about yourself. When you get ready to approach a person, don't let it linger. Because see, anger it's just like a cancer. It will spread. And the more you hold on to it, it just festers. It just get bigger and bigger and bigger. And then when you do want to confront it, you're angry when you confront it. And then you're gonna say some things that you ain't mean. Yeah, you're gonna say what you meant to say. You're gonna say it in a way that you're gonna be wagging your fingers and shaking your head and doing all kind of stuff. And you're not gonna even get you combative. You're very combative. But when somebody say something, when someone say something about you, then you have to take a moment to assess the situation and process it. And when you thought about it and you done got yourself in a calm space, we got it. We need, hey sis, let me holler at you. You said something the other day that it kind of pinched the nerve. Can you want to expound on that? Can we talk about it? Can we talk about it like two rational adults? I'm gonna let you know how you made me feel. Then you let me know where you coming from, and I'm gonna let you know where I'm coming from, and we're gonna squash it. I'm gonna walk away from it and be all right, and never to revisit that again. So when people disrespect you, confront them immediately. Don't let that shit linger 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years, 8 days, 8 weeks, 8 months. Uh-uh. Address that. Because when I see you, I don't want to stop. I don't want to never stop saying, hey girl, what's up? I ain't seen you in a long time. And keep it moving, keep it moving, keep it moving. And you know what? This my thing right here. Don't eat other people's food more than they eat yours. I live in a building right now with all type of people. And they be having little things going on. And if it don't say Publix chicken, if it don't say Publix, the cake come from Publix or the chicken comes from Publix, I ain't eating. I ain't eating because I ain't bringing nothing to it. So I ain't eating it. I'm gonna drink some punch because the punch or some of that Publix tea because it's still in the jug. I'm gonna drink some of that. And I go home just like I came, looking for something to eat. But if it ain't no Publix chicken and the cake didn't come from Publix, I ain't eating. So stop eating at everybody's house and they don't eat your food. Oh, girl, I bought you some lunch today. Okay, thank you. And I remember one time we were having something at church one time, and the lady had brought some, I think it was some rice and some string beans or something like that. So my cousin, she was like, this don't look right. And I say, why? I said, you can't, what you gonna do, throw it away? I said, you can't throw that lady food away. Then she said, I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna do. So she dropped some of the rice on the floor. Then she said, oh, I gotta throw this away because the rice. I said, okay, I get it. I get it. I get it. Stop. You know, don't eat other people's food more than they're eating yours. You know, don't do that. And reduce how often you visit some people, especially if they don't reciprocate the gesture. I don't I don't visit. I don't like really going to people's house. I really don't. Every now and then I would step into someone, I would go to people's house, but I don't outwear my welcome. If I stay there an hour, okay, that hour and it's over and it's time to go back to where you live. You know, if they don't visit, don't you visit and cut your visit short. Invest in yourself and make yourself happy. You know, I'm all about my peace and I'm all about my happiness. Happiness is predicated on what's happening. If you have nothing going on, then you deem not to be happy. But I'm happy. You know why I'm happy? Because my kids are doing good. My mom is still here and in relatively good health. I'm still here in relatively good health. The people that I consider friends, they're good, they're thriving in their life. And I thank God that, I can live to see my granddaughter graduate high school and then be accepted into one of the top 10, the school that she's accepted in is one of the top 10 Black colleges you know, um, in the country, and to see her excited and thriving, and to see my daughter getting ready to pursue her dreams of becoming a RN. And so I get happiness out of seeing all of that, and to see my friends thriving. And Mildred has her book going on, Anthony has his thing going on, Michelle is doing this festival that she do every year in Ohio, in Cleveland, every year. And to see people just doing what they like to do, and I get so excited and thrilled when people that I love, when I see them thriving and just doing things what make them happy. That makes me happy. So invest in your own self. Invest in yourself, regardless of what it is. I mean, like, just spending time with yourself. Even like on the weekend, check into a hotel, go out of town or something like that, or check into a hotel in a nice hotel in your city, and just just love on you and invest in yourself, because you know what, everybody will let you down. But you will never let yourself down. You will never hurt yourself. You will never make yourself unhappy. And I learned that. I learned how to invest in myself. That means taking time out for myself, like reading them, not only just reading the Bible, but reading literature that's going to help me become a better person. Something that's going to give me ideas, and something that's going to make me think different. So we got to learn how to invest, and that not only mean by buying the wigs and getting the nails and the lashes and stuff like that. That's performative. In the inside, do something to encourage yourself, to uplift yourself, and give God the glory and the honor, for just keeping you going, and stop entertaining gossip about other people, because surely the people you sitting down and gossiping with, they're gonna gossip about you as well. I've already said that. Think before you talk. 80% of what people value, how people value, is what come out of your mouth. Think before you speak. Think before you speak. And always look your best. Dress the way you want to be addressed. If you don't want to be addressed as a slut or whatever, dress the part. And I was telling a young girl, a young lady in church yesterday. She's an assistant principal at one of the schools here. And I had gave her a dress. And her daughter was saying, she said, my mama just love that dress you gave her, Miss Marita, because she's always in the mirror, just looking at herself in the mirror. I said, oh, that's so nice. And so she heard me and her daughter conversation. And then she said, because I don't normally wear dresses and stuff like that. I said, you know what? I said, you are an assistant principal. And our young women, they need to see professional women dressed in a professional way in a professional setting because they can always go on social media and see how these girls got all they and I'm sitting in church. It was after church and I said, with all they then I had to catch me. She said, I understand, Miss Marita. I understand. And I said, yes. I said, I want you to start dressing more professional when you are at school so the young ladies can see, oh, look at how Miss Ma'am dressing. And look at I want them to see you in a professional setting, professionally dressed, so they have something to look up to. And and I'm going to end with this. I got so much more, right? But I'm going to end with this. I want this to be an affirmation. You can word it any type of way that you want to word it. And I want you not only to say it, I want you to believe it. You are brilliant. You are amazing. Your smile is beautiful. You are gifted. You're strong. You are important. Your happiness is essential. You are enough. You are loved. You are worthy. And stop saying, you know, I said, I'm letting you know that you are all these things. For you, Miss Leo, for whoever's watching and whoever will watch this, I want you to move the you out the way. And when you say this to yourself, I am amazing. I'm brilliant. I have a beautiful smile. I'm gifted. I'm strong. I'm important. My happiness is essential. I'm enough. I'm loved and I am worthy. You're worthy to be loved. You're worthy to be respected. And you will use up everything you got trying to give everybody what they want. So you gotta start respecting yourself enough to speak life over yourself. You know why? Because a queen never fights. She just remove her presence. And when she remove her presence, the empire collapsed. Without you, a lot of stuff will fall down. A lot of things will fall down. And what you're not changing, you're choosing. So what you are not changing, and if nothing is going right and there's no change, nothing change if nothing changes. If nothing changes, nothing is going to change. So, I love this time that I was here. Woo! And I like the little talk I just had. I just like the little talk I just had. I don't know. I might be up in the morning. I don't know. But if I am, just holler at me and I'll holler back. Just stop by and say, hey, girl. Tell me you miss me and I tell you I missed you back. So I'm out of here. Peace out. Deuces. And I love you. Talk with you soon.